Let's talk to Councillor Steve Tuckwell, though, Cabinet Member for Planning, Housing and Growth at Hillingdon Council. I'll tell you why we're talking to him, right? It turns out, you might remember this story from a while back. We spoke to some people who came here from the Chagos Islands into this country to demonstrate about why they didn't want the British government to sell off the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, right? It turned out that their pleas fell on deaf ears because, of course, David Lammy, Jonathan Powell, Keir Starmer, Lord Hermer and all of those other complete and utter traitors to this land, I would say, decided to sell the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, even though Mauritius didn't particularly ask for them to do so. Mauritius now have been in receipt of so much money as a result of us selling the Chagos Islands to them, because I don't understand how this works, but it's the only sale that I've ever seen where you sell something to somebody but they don't give you any money, you give them money. So it's like, I've got this phone here, right? It's an iPhone 15. It happens to be a replacement iPhone 15 because I had my original iPhone 15 stolen, as you might remember. I'm going to say to you this, I will sell it to you for £200. But that's not £200 that you have to give me. I'm going to give you the phone and give you £200. And that's effectively what happened. So we give you the Chagos Islands and we'll give you billions and billions of pounds. They gave them so much money that Mauritians now don't have to pay any income tax for the rest of the decade because they've got so much money. I don't understand the deal, neither does anybody else, and neither do the people from the Chagos Islands. They came here to demonstrate against it, right? They came into Heathrow, but bizarrely, despite the fact that we will welcome any Tom, Dick or Harry or Mohammed who comes here on a small boat, put them up in a hotel, we weren't able to support them. So it now turns out that Hillingdon Council have had to support them, and the bill has now reached £1.2 billion. So let's talk to Councillor Steve Tuckwell and find out what's going to happen next. Steve, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. Good to be on this morning.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Couldn't have put it better myself, your intro.
Yes, I mean, this is a ridiculous situation, isn't it? That, you know, we've got people who came here from what is effectively, was anyway, a British protectorate, couldn't be admitted as sort of legal residents of this country, so had to be put up sort of in an emergency way by your council, couldn't be given a hotel, couldn't be treated like illegal migrants, and you're now £1.2 million in the hole.
Yeah, as I said, it absolutely beggars belief, Mike, that we find ourselves in this position here in the London Borough of Hillingdon. As you know, we are the home of Heathrow Airport, and since last July, we've received over 158, nearly 160 families. That's over 600 people that have turned up at Hillingdon door from the Chagos Islands. Now, that has cost the Hillingdon taxpayer a whopping, as you said, £1.2 million. And that's not going to finish there. It's going to grow. We're estimating it's actually going to cost the Hillingdon taxpayer around about £2 million this year. This week alone, we've had 40 families arrive. I was at the processing centre in Hillingdon that we had to quickly set up. We've diverted a lot of council officer time away to process these applications, and it's diverting, you know, very, very precarious resources away from core services to deal with our statutory obligation. And I'm calling on the government to step up and fund us fairly for this national policy, as you said in your intro, which has been a complete disaster.
Yeah, exactly right. And so are these people from the Chagos Islands wanting to live here, or are they sort of wanting to go back home but they just need subsistence while they're here?
No, they are coming here to live. The government are providing us with funds for the first 10 days only. And as we know, you know, when they come and settle, you know, they have British passports. They are British national citizens. So, as I said, we have.
Well, that's the crazy part of it, isn't it? They just have a right to stay here.
Yeah, but what we're saying is that that's absolutely right, and we will step up and accept our statutory obligations, but we need the national government, the Labour government, to fund us fairly. It's not right, it's not fair, it's not acceptable that the Hillingdon taxpayer is actually now paying for disastrous national policy.
I mean, it is incredible, isn't it? And what sort of hope have you got that you will get anything out of central government, or you will get anything out of the Foreign Office?
Well, we're getting sort of stony silence, and yeah, we are working with local authorities. But not only have we got the Chagos Islands, Mike, we've also got the asylum pressures, the Home Office dispersal agreements, where the government will say that they are clearing out their hotels at a rate of knots, which they are. But what they're not telling you is where those asylum seekers end up. And again, invariably, they will end up at Hillingdon Council's Civic Centre front door. And that is an additional £5 million that's costing the Hillingdon taxpayer just this year. If you turn that clock back several years, it's probably £20 million that this government owes Hillingdon Council, in addition to the Chagos Islands.
And I mean, in fairness, I don't know whether you've got any migrant hotels in your regional Hillingdon Council, but I mean, if you do have, you'll be getting those paid for by a company like Serco or Clear Springs, whatever it is. You know, they'll be getting paid by a government contract to put illegal migrants up who don't have British passports in your area, all expenses paid.
Just to make your viewers and listeners aware, Mike, Heathrow Airport has the largest concentration of hotels in the country, and Hillingdon Council has 4 times the national average of asylum seekers of any local authority. The largest concentration of asylum seekers in London, around between 2,000 and 3,000 asylum seekers at any one time. Now, that is a huge burden, and we are calling on the Labour government to step up and provide the sufficient funding. It's not right, it's not fair, and it's not acceptable that the Hillingdon taxpayer has to stump up for national policy disasters.
That is incredible. 3,000 migrants, illegal, staying in hotels around Heathrow. Extraordinary. Listen, Steve, let's keep in touch. Let's talk about it and see what we can do. Steve Tuckwell, Cabinet Member for Planning, Housing and Growth, Hillingdon Council. He's got people from the Chagos Islands who want to stay in this country, who have got British passports, who are not being given the help by the central government of this land that people who come here illegally are getting. It's absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely ridiculous. Henry Bolt